Coming up on today's episode of Sports Talk from the Crib, we're getting to NFL Week 4 marquee matchups. We'll go over what happened in the Thursday night football game. Can the Eagles and Bucs, that showdown, both teams 3-0. Who is going to stay undefeated? All that coming up. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sports Talk from the Crib. I'm your host, TNF Christian. Welcome to the show. We're getting to the Week 4 marquee matchups. We're getting to what happened in that Thursday night football action. But first, if you're new, episodes are aired every Tuesday and Friday. It's available on all streaming platforms. Be sure to check us out on our website, sportstalkfromthecrib.com, as well as social media links. We're at Philly Heat Entertainment, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Coco, my dog, and I are doing game picks every week for you as well. So check out our results. I got to get last week's results up on the website. Where did I go? 12-4 or 13-3? I think I went 12-4 last week. So I had a really, really good week. I'm ahead of Coco now by a couple of games. She's a little upset. She's sitting here next to me. Really upset. She may give me back. She lost last Thursday night game too. I had the Seahawks. She had the Cardinals. So you're already down one in our game picks. So anyways, let's get it started here. Recapping Thursday night football. Seahawks beat the Cardinals 23-20. They were up 20-6. Arizona didn't look too good. The game crowd was booing. Kyler Murray threw a couple early interceptions. The whole offense just looked horrible. Marvin Harrison Jr., Kirk Herbstreit was just dogging him for the most part of this game. No confidence, dropping passes. He's one of the reasons why we had an interception as well, because it went right, hit Harrison right in the numbers, and then he got picked off. So anyways, they came back. Seattle let him get back. Harrison Jr. said he had 66 receiving yards and a touchdown on the day. So in the second half, he really came through. It was just a really weird game. Even Smith and Jigba, big wide receiver for the Seahawks, only had rushing attempts in the first half. It was like, what a weird kind of a game overall. I guess it was to be expected anyways when it comes to Thursday night. So all his receiving and catches came in. He had finished 4 receptions for 79 yards in the second half. But Cardinals knotted it up 20-20. Seahawks ended up getting the field goal there late in the fourth quarter to seal the victory. This is a really, really weird game. 23-20. That's the final score. So it's just, I don't really know what to make out of this game, that other than Kyler Murray is just, I don't know what's going on in his head. He has not progressed at all in the last 3 years, at all. And Harrison Jr., you got your number one. Trey McBride's always the reliable security blanket. But Marvin Harrison Jr. just gets it all together and stop letting it be in his head. Same with Kyler Murray. This offense could be okay. I know they lost James Conner for the year. Not Trey McBride. Benson is filling in as the running back now. So it's doable. The Arizona Cardinals team shouldn't play this bad. They're 2-2. Seahawks moved to 3-1. The Rams lost last week. So everybody, this NFC, Niners are still 3-0 going into the weekend. So this division, you can't afford to lose games like this. So Seattle was able to get it out on top. So there's your Thursday night football recap. Let's get into this next one, because this is the first game going to be played in Dublin, Ireland, and it's the Vikings and the Steelers. And, I didn't know if the matchup expected to have Aaron Rodgers versus Carson Wentz, but here we are. The Vikings, of course, J.J. McCarthy's going to be out. Aaron Jones, the running back's out. Carson Wentz, Jordan Mason are the go-to guys on this offense. Get the ball to Justin Jefferson. All right, Carson Wentz, I think he's going to do that in this game. And the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, he's played well. so far this year. Is not great, but he's in the middle of the pack doing this thing. Last week the Vikings and Carson Wentz's first start, they just blew out the Bengals 48-10. You're not going to see that over here. So I'm interested to see, do you really believe the hype in Carson Wentz still? I mean, I don't know, but the way this defense is playing, I think they're going to get after Aaron Rodgers, and I think they can come out with a victory in Ireland. I'm going to go with the Vikings in this one. I want to trust Carson Wentz, I guess, because I don't know if I really want to trust Aaron Rodgers. I'm trusting Carson Wentz over Aaron Rodgers here in 2025, guys. I don't really want to put my trust in any of them, but if I had to choose, I'm going to choose Wentz. All right, let's hop into this next one. This is the matchup I'm looking forward to on Sunday. Eagles at the Bucs. Both are 3-0. Who's going to get their first loss? Eagles had a great comeback win last week against the Rams. The whole second half, they were balling. To save their grace, A.J. Brown came alive. Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. Wow, he actually passed the ball to A.J. Brown. They come back and win the game. Go figure. It did kind of the same thing happen last year at times, and it looks like they're the same old team. They somehow get it together. Like, they may have a few games where A.J. Brown only has 6 catches. Then there's a second half where he has 6 catches and 109 yards with a touchdown, and you win the game. They win no matter how they do it. It's just the way they are. They won the Super Bowl off of this. One game you're going to have Jalen Hurts have 4 touchdowns. One game you're going to have him maybe only have a couple. One game he may only throw for 150 yards. But they're going to win the game. They just somehow always win the game. Saquon Barkley, he hasn't really, that running attack really hasn't gotten too much this year. 58 carries, 194 yards on the year for Barkley with a touchdown. So he's getting around, for through 3 weeks. That's not overly impressive. I mean, 65 yards, so in that range per game. That's not really Saquon 2,000-yard Saquon yet. But season's still young, and I expect big things to come out. As for the Buccaneers, I mean, they had 3 straight game-winning drives in the fourth quarter to get their victories. So they'll be up in the lead. They come back. Baker Mayfield's played phenomenal. 615 yards on the year with 6 TDs. And the rookie Mbuka, 14 catches, 181 yards, and 3 touchdowns already. Now, Mike Evans is out for this game. It's a big loss right there. But they may get left tackle Tristan Wirfs back. And Chris Godwin was a full participant a couple of practices this week, so he's eyeing his return. Remains to be seen. He's still listed as questionable as well as worse. So those are 2 key parts of this offense that they may get even back for this game. So, season's still young, though. We're not going to freak out if one of these teams lose. These 2 teams are my favorites to really come out of that NFC again. Don't sleep on the Bucs. Do not sleep on them. With all this being said, I think I'm going to roll with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this game because even if I don't really expect Chris Godwin to come out and do anything crazy coming off that big ankle surgery, last year that happened. This would be a first game action in a year. So I'm not expecting Chris Godwin to go out there and just go nuts, but who knows if he's even going to play. But Mike Evans is out. It's going to hurt. They're going to probably try and lean more on this running game that's been not that great, and the Eagles' defense has been lights out against it. I mean, those guys up front, man, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, man, I don't know if you can get any more bigger than these guys in that defensive line, man. That's just a tough defensive line to get through. Bucky Irving, the Buccaneers, they really got to get this run game going to have a chance against this Eagles team, I believe. And I think they're going to do just enough to come out with the victory. I'm rolling with the Buccaneers in this one. Another game I think is really intriguing that may get a little overlooked is the Colts at the Rams. Colts are 3-0, Rams 2-1. We talked about last week how the Rams, the Rams blew that lead in the second half. They were like dominating the Eagles and they came back. the whole A.J. Brown connection, and they lost that week. So Colts through 3 weeks, 3-0, and Daniel Jones is looking like Peyton Manning out here. I just do not. I mean, wow, what a turnaround if this really goes. If he gets through, I'll tell you what, if he gets through this Rams defense this week on the road in LA, I'm going to say he's for real. I just can't say that quite yet. But if he does it this weekend against this team, I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm a believer. I'm not saying anything wrong about him again. I always felt like there was times in New York where he just got the wrong Rappaport on him because the injuries, and the team was just so bad. The offensive line was just so horrible. Then the team gets Saquon Barkley. Then they get rid of him, and he wins the Super Bowl. It was just, the Giants franchise has just been horrible. Let's be honest. For like a decade. And it's just like, now they're still going to start Jackson Dart. We're going to get him making his first career start. Finally, bench Russell Wilson. Maybe that's a good thing happening in New York. Maybe Malik Neighbors can actually get the ball. But anyways, let's get back to this. Daniel Jones has played phenomenal football. Check this out with these Colts team. They're second. They're second in offense. Now, Jonathan Taylor's had a great start. It's not just, but Daniel Jones has been phenomenal. He's holding on with the best yards per attempts in the league. He's better than the whole league. Passing yards, he's there. He's not turning the ball over. What is going on in Indy? What's in the water for Daniel Jones out there? He should have started his career there. Second overall in offense. Third in rush. You think, hey, it's Daniel Jones. Maybe the passing's low. No. They're fourth. And second in scoring. All in the top 5 in all these offensive categories. It's the Indianapolis Colts and Daniel Jones. Now, when Jonathan Taylor ran for about over 160 last week, gets a couple touchdowns, you can see it's not just him. The running game, the offensive line, Daniel Jones, Michael Pittman Jr. is really, really working. And it's been quite awesome to kind of watch the way their offense is just, working. Like, I don't know how else to explain this. I'm just shocked at how good Daniel Jones has been through the first 3 weeks of the season. So let's get to the Rams side. Now, the Rams have a really good defense. The first 10 quarters, they were lights out. 2.5 games, and then all of a sudden, the second half last week, it was over. It was like Jared Verse couldn't get to Jalen Hurts. What was going on? This Rams team's no joke. Stafford, Puka, you got Devontae Adams, you got Blake Corum was kind of coming along the running back, backing up Kyron Williams. So you got a 1-2 punch there. Great wideouts. Matthew Stafford still slinging the ball around, man, doing his thing. This Rams team's no joke. And their defense was one of the best in the league up to the last second half of last week. And it's nothing to really, they're 5th overall still in defense despite that. They get it after the quarterback. They play great in the back end. This will be the toll-telling task for Daniel Jones and this Colts team. We're going to find out if he's for real or if he's not in this game. It'll be a little bit better body of work. So if he does it against this Rams defense on the road, I'm going to turn into a 100% believer in this team and get into the playoffs. Because, how could you not? There won't be a fluke to me no more. Okay, now one of the last matchups I want to get into is this. Ravens at the Chiefs. This was like Super Bowl aspiration for the last 5 years now when it comes to these two franchises. Lamar Jackson versus Patrick Mahomes. Both teams, though, are struggling so bad this year. Some have heartbreaking losses. Both are 1-2. These teams cannot afford to go 1-3 in the AFC because it's a lot better. And more teams are coming than last year. So, Ravens, 2 losses. I mean, let's face it, Derrick Henry, those 2 fumbles, part of the reason why they lost. First game, the Bills was just, it happened. I mean, then the Chargers, it's just poor Ravens, right? They just haven't gotten bad luck, but they always seem, the Lions. And when they faced the Lions, that's when Derrick Henry fumbled. It's just like, man, why can't you guys get it together and win in the end? It's been that way for the last few years. People are saying, oh, maybe it's time for a change of John Harbaugh not being the head coach. I don't want to go that far. But the team has just got to start winning these close games. Close it out in the fourth quarter. Stop blowing leads. They've been doing it for 3 years straight. It's just like you have one of the most talented rosters in the league. Offense and defense. And special teams. You got a heck of a team. They seem to just not be able to close the deal. As for the Chiefs, there's where they're going to get Xavier Worthy back this game. So Mahomes will have another weapon. The run game has been stagnant. The Ravens have had the worst run defense in the league so far this year. But the Chiefs will refuse to run the ball at all. Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco, where are you? It's like they only get 6-7 carries, maybe a game. Mahomes checking to these passes all game long. And then airmailing it. It's just like he can't throw the deep ball anymore. I don't know if it's this being on the wrong page, but he looks off. He's too busy switching his fingers at the end of every play. You know what I'm talking about. Pay close attention. But which team can really, none of these teams. If you ask who can really fall to 1-3, none. This game's going to be one of the games here that can save their season. Baltimore. I mean, talk about having a schedule coming out the jump, though, with 4 straight weeks. And then you have the Baltimore, for Baltimore, you got the Buffalo Bills. You've had the Chiefs now, had the Lions last week. It's just like, damn. Way to start the year off on us. Give us all those hard teams that we know can be playoff contenders and Super Bowl contenders. Put it that way. They can't afford it. We're going to see if Derrick Henry can run the ball. We're going to see if he can redeem himself here in week 4. I don't want to put both losses on him. He does deserve some blame because he did fumble in the fourth quarter in both of those losses. But you can always redeem yourself. Lamar Jackson seemed like he wasn't too happy about him either. But Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, who do you have in this game? It's in Kansas City. I think the Chiefs, even though their defense is not what it once was, like I said, I cannot trust Baltimore in that fourth quarter with the game on the line, where they have a 10-point lead or not. They could have a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter of this game, and I wouldn't trust them. I'm like, I don't know. I think something's going to happen. Pat Mahomes may do some miracle and actually connect somewhere. Maybe allow him to field with Xavier Worthy. Who knows? Or maybe there's a big defensive stop, and it gets back on the field real quick, after this scoring. It can happen, and I think something like that may happen in this game. That's why I'm going to roll Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs at home, because I cannot see an Andy Reid team starting this season 1-3. And that's going to wrap up today's episode. I want to thank y'all for joining me here on Sports Talk from the Crib with your favorite sports host, Tanner Christian. Remember to catch us every Tuesday and Friday. And we're streaming on all streaming platforms. Check out the website, sportstalkfromthecrib.com. You'll see the videos up there. We're uploading game picks of my dog Coco and I for the week. You're going to see YouTube and TikToks of us as well. So go at Feel Heat Entertainment is our social media handles. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You name it, we're on all of them. I lose track. X, we're on all of them. I lose track every week. I'm like, this is too many now. But anyways, give us a follow, subscribe, shout outs on there. Thank you all for joining me. Y'all enjoy the weekend. Enjoy some football. Have a good one.